A very good evening to you all. Thank you for joining us for the UBC News tonight. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark, and we're going to be taking you for the next 1 hour. Welcome back from that lively match in the World Cup team, updating you. Without further ado, let's take a look at the updates, the headlines, and then get straight into the bulletin. Tonight, opposition parties unite as Lukwago detention sparks calls for justice. And furthermore, dry spell bites hard in Karamoja as residents turn to charcoal burning. Yuboa operation nets 10 suspected conmen in bus terminal crackdown. And Uganda hosts a catalyst summit to drive ambitious tenfold growth strategy. Once again, thank you for joining us. We now give you the news in detail. Voting in Kikube District LC5 chairperson by-election got off to a slow start at several polling stations, with election officials struggling to secure the minimum number of voter witnesses required to officially open the polls. We'll take a look at the key facts and figures shaping the by-election in one of Uganda's fastest growing districts.
District, located in the western region of Uganda, was carved out of Hoima district in 2018. Situated in the Bunyoro sub-region, the district headquarters is approximately 53 kilometers southwest of Hoima city and about 215 kilometers northwest of Kampala. The district is experiencing rapid growth and development, largely driven by its strategic role as a key hub for Uganda's emerging oil and gas industry. The by-election to fill the vacancy left by the death of former district chairperson Peter Banura attracted two candidates, Padech Sembo of the National Resistance Movement NRM and Fenekansi Timanyere of the National Unity Platform NUP. According to the 2024 National Population and Housing Census, Kikube district has a total population of 379,547 people. Kikube district has a total of 330 polling stations and 153,186 registered voters. Of these, 77,529 are female voters, while 75,657 are male voters. Those are the key figures shaping Kikube LC5 chairperson by-election as voters await the outcome of the race between the two candidates vying to lead the district.
A section of opposition political party has resolved to stand in solidarity with the People's Front for Freedom and work together to ensure that fairness, justice and truth prevail for all Ugandan citizens. During a joint press conference held at the PFF headquarters on Katonga Road, leaders of various political parties agreed that what is happening to the PFF President Arias Lukwago is a matter of concern to all of them, noting that similar incidents continue to affect members of other political parties.
The leadership of the People's Front for Freedom opposition political party invited leaders of other opposition political parties to Katonga Road for an engagement aimed at fostering collective action to ensure Uganda moves in a better direction. This follows the arrest and subsequent court charges against the president of the People's Front for Freedom, Arias Lukwago, the former Kampala Lord Mayor, and one of the lawyers in the case involving Dr. Kiza Besige and Obedi Lutale. The Vice President for Buganda in the PFF, Lulu Mebaiga, says there is an existential threat facing the country and that by coming together, opposition leaders are awakening Ugandans to the realities affecting the Constitution and the rule of law. He adds that many Ugandans are fearful and hesitant to participate in national debates.
As I have described, it's not about political parties, it is about actors in the polity of Uganda, including the leaders in the social atmosphere, the religious leaders, our cultural leaders, because it is our future at stake and we want to put our act together. So
the Deputy President of the FDC in charge of Northern Uganda and Shadow Minister for Security in Parliament, Fungaru Kaps Hassan, says Uganda is facing a serious problem of security sector governance. Meanwhile, Ali Salaso of the Alliance for National Transformation Party urged institutions of governance, including the police and judiciary, to carry out their constitutional mandates professionally and independently.
Understand what security is first. Security at the basics mean feeling safe, free from fear, threats to your existence as a human being.
We are here to tell the institutions of governance in this country that they should do what is expected of them. Fear is not going to salvage them. Countries survive if institutions stand their ground.
The Secretary General of the National Unity Platform, Davis Lewis Lubongoya, says that although political parties may disagree on certain issues, they must stand together in solidarity on matters concerning justice and the rule of law. The President of the Uganda People's Congress, UPC, Jimmy Akena, says political leaders must commit themselves to doing what is right for the people of Uganda and speak out whenever fellow political actors face injustice.
They come for sections of the population. And unfortunately, when they come for one section of the population, others always feel that they are safe. Let me not say anything because I am still safe. But just this year, you've seen what has happened to the traders, to our people who are illegally evicted from all manner of places. So they are coming for every section of the population.
As Jimmy Akena, President of UPC, I stand with PFF. I stand with also the other parties, NUP, who have their members, all parties which have their members who have been, I would say, held illegally. Let us stand together in solidarity, but let us not stop talking.
Representing the Democratic Front, the Deputy President for Eastern Uganda, Pascal Amriat, says the party supports national dialogue and the rule of law. Meanwhile, the Secretary General of the Common Man's Party, General Bigira Moses, says they are inspired by the unity among opposition parties because they are all fighting for a genuine cause.
And I'm sure nobody wants a country that goes into anarchy. Nobody wants chaos. What we want is a peaceful country. Nobody can go into a transition this way.
Is to have one what? One fighting force. We are making ourselves ready. Let's make our formation and we confront, we move forward, we advance.
This engagement comes at a time when different opposition political parties say some of their members are experiencing what they describe as unlawful arrests. I'm Navka Farida and Rogers Komgom in Kampala.
Away from here, the agreement to extend the ceasefire and reopen the Strait of Hormuz has drawn widespread international support, with many countries like Pakistan, France, China and Russia endorsing the agreement and expressing hope that it will help ease regional tensions, enhance global energy security and pave the way for a lasting peace in the Middle East. We have a detailed report.
The signing of a memorandum of understanding between the United States and Iran marks a significant milestone in efforts to end nearly 4 months of conflict that has placed immense pressure on global energy supplies and contributed to raising fuel prices worldwide following disruptions to shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. The agreement, reportedly brokered by Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif and signed electronically by the United States President Donald Trump and Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, outlines a 14-point framework that will guide a 60-day negotiation process aimed at ending hostilities and establishing a lasting peace agreement. President Pezeshkian described the agreement as historic on a post on X, while President Trump welcomed it as an important step towards regional stability. Among the key provisions of the deal are a cessation of military operations on all fronts, including Lebanon, for at least 60 days while a long-term agreement is negotiated, the lifting of the U.S. naval blockade on Iranian ports, the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz with guaranteed safe passage for commercial shipping, the lifting of international sanctions against Iran, the release of billions of dollars in frozen Iranian assets, the issuance of waivers allowing Iranian crude oil exports to resume immediately, the establishment of a $300 billion reconstruction fund for Iran, Iran's commitment not to pursue or develop nuclear weapons, cooperation between both countries on addressing concerns surrounding Iran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium, and mutual respect for territorial integrity and non-interference in each other's internal affairs. French President Emmanuel Macron welcomed the agreement, describing it as a very good deal and noting that US allies within the G7 will support the initiative. Germany, Italy and the United Kingdom also expressed readiness to ease sanctions provided both Washington and Tehran uphold their commitments, particularly on nuclear issues. However, the agreement has generated controversy in Israel, with analysts noting that several of Israel's key objectives, including regime change in Iran, restrictions on ballistic missile development, and limitations on Iranian-backed proxy groups, by requiring that Israel withdraws its forces from the country. The agreement has been welcomed by many world leaders, who view it as a possible potential breakthrough in reducing tensions in the Middle East and stabilizing global energy markets. Saddam Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
And in more news here locally, there is a video circulating on social media involving two victims who were stoned by an angry mob barely weeks after the death of the Ugandan rugby player who lost his life in a similar manner. The incident has renewed debate about the growing cases of mob justice and the factors driving communities to take the law into their own hands. Now, while police are yet to release the details about the incident, the case raises questions about public trust, justice and increasing use of mob actions in communities. Ivan Kawa spoke to the Commissioner for Community Policing at the Uganda Police Force to put into perspective the factors contributing to this vice.
A graphic video has lately been shared on social media showing two persons being attacked by a mob. Police are yet to release information on where the incident happened, what led to the attack, and the identities of those involved. In this video, members of the public surround the two victims who are covered in blood. Some people are seen recording the incident, while others participate in the assault. A woman wearing a red headsock is seen gathering stones and striking one of the victims. Another man in a striped shirt is also seen hitting one of the victims before briefly leaving the scene and later returning. The images have once again raised concerns about the growing trend of mob justice, where suspects or accused persons are punished by the crowd without going through the formal justice system.
No amount of anger or emotions or whatever should be able to enable us to do whatever we want. So let's stand together and condemn these acts because they are very barbaric. They do not reflect Uganda as a law-abiding country.
Have you ascertained the reason as to why someone would wake up one day and participate in mob action?
Ignorance is no defense of law, no defense in courts of law. You'll be held accountable once you have been arrested. There are those, generally, in my perspective, some of us have lost morality.
Some members of the public argue that mob action is sometimes driven by frustration over delayed justice, previous experiences with crime, and mistrust in the law enforcement institutions.
Church ya Kayanja nebasalako omusumali ne bamupaka essimu ne jambia kanaffe tubatayiza kati ababiri be twakwata abe bali baweze babatiipinga ne tubakwata kati awo kitoyinza okuzzaawo poliisi era poliisi yasanga tubakuba nabo ne batuleka tukola ki bono bali babalabye dda ate buli omulaba abantu abakambwe bati ekyamazima abantu babeerako ebintu byabatuukako nze nvuga bodaboda omuntu yandeeta bodaboda yali mubbi sinamala na mwaka mbadde maze wankise omwaka mulamba nga ndi wansi mbadde na piki yange empya oli yazze n'agibba nesigala nga sina mu bulamu bwange nina bulamu olowooza singa akwata omuddu buno obudde obumu bwempiseemu mu babbi kye kiyinza okuddako abantu kabamu bakutukola ensobi naye abantu balina obulumi ku mitima gyabwe
ng'ekyekyayisa abantu ebiseera ebimu omubbi bamukwata ennaku bbiri n'aba ng'akomyewo tasula namukomera ogenda awulira nti abamweyimiridde avuddeyo naye nga mubbi ebyaddala n'ekitundu bakimanyi nti ababonyaabonya mubbi naye ennaku bbiri ne mukomera tasulamu asula akomyewo.
As the police, don't you think there is something you really need to do regarding holding suspects in custody for some time as we investigate?
It is all about knowing what the law says. It is all knowing the chain of the criminal justice, how it moves. What you needed to know, Bwana Ivan, that even those who commit those actions against innocent Ugandans, they do not stand there. Once they have done it, they run away. Now, the other issue I should not omit is that when somebody is brought to police and is taken to be a suspect, we do not have the ability to sentence that person. It is the court that can sentence him. It is the court that can even exonerate him.
Out of over 900 cases that were reported to police, only 2 convictions were secured. And according to the Commissioner, Community Policing, Anatoli Muleterwa, he says that this process takes some time. From the time the case is reported to police, then taken to the courts of law. That's why only 2 convictions were made in 2025. But there are still more other cases that are ongoing in the courts of law. Probably at the rightful time, maybe the people who suffered this violence will get justice. Has police failed to provide enough evidence to pin these suspects in court? What could be the reason behind that?
So it is a multiple of factors that bring or contribute to this, but that does not mean to say that it has ended until it has ended. So I want to call upon you, whether the convictions are few or not, it is a process which you need to interest yourself in and establish at what level is my case.
Commissioner Anatoli Muleterwa warns that taking the law into their own hands can result in the death of innocent people, as crowds may act on suspicion rather than verified facts.
Any person who is arrested and taken to police is a suspect, is not a convict. Please, Ivan and the viewers there, a person who is arrested and brought to the police is a suspect. What does this mean? That is a suspect, he is suspected to have committed an offense, and therefore he will only be proved guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction. And a court of competent jurisdiction is the one which has the capabilities to sentence such a person.
He urges communities to report suspected criminals to authorities and allow the justice system to take its course.
Under circumstances that you are a victim and therefore being trapped by a mob, you can either run, you can either get a number and call the police, or you can make alarm. Through those avenues, we shall be able to, there will be at least a Ugandan who will say, there is somebody being tortured there, then we can easily be able to whatever. But even then, please Ugandans, all of you, if you think you are rational, stop taking acts of mob action in your hands.
Well, there you have it. The message is loud and clear. All Ugandans should stop taking action into their own hands. A suspect is only a suspect until proved guilty. In more news, the Uganda Bus Owners Association has carried out an operation in downtown Kampala, resulting in the arrest of 10 suspected conmen accused of forging receipts of various bus companies. The operation was led by Brian Kwizera, the vice chairperson of Uganda Bus Owners Association, who warned that the operation will continue, hence advising passengers to avoid paying money outside bus parks.
Passengers, especially those who use buses, have several times raised complaints about being conned by people who pretend to work with bus companies and fraudulently collect money from them. As part of efforts to streamline and improve the bus transport sector, bus owners under their umbrella, Uganda Bus Owners Association, UBOA, have carried out an operation against these fraudsters, resulting in the arrest of more than 10 suspects. The operation started on Benchwanka Street in central Kampala, Namirembe Road, arresting a woman who had allegedly spent a long time illegally collecting money from unsuspecting passengers. The team also proceeded to French Plaza, where the fraudsters reportedly operate an office used to swindle people. They later moved to Martin Road, where they found more individuals allegedly robbing passengers. A confrontation ensued before the suspects were eventually restrained and handcuffed. At Namaiba Taxi Park, several suspects were arrested. Some passengers there claimed they had been conned out their money. Some suspects did not want to appear on camera, attempting to assault journalists. The vice chairperson of Uboa, Brian Kwizera, reaffirmed the continuity of operations until all fraudsters targeting passengers are eliminated.
You find someone, they have charged him 100,000 or her 100,000, like from Kampala to Mbarara. So today we have decided to do our operation, and we have arrested 10 fake tickets and also the people who are using those tickets. So we have started and we shall not stop.
He also urged passengers to avoid paying outside designated bus park offices in order to avoid being fleeced.
We are appealing to the general public, please don't pay from outside. Come inside the bus park, pay from the bus park inside. Don't pay from outside. Those are thieves.
Vigiri Okum, the manager Kachise Bus Services, appealed to the Ministry of Works and Transport to support their efforts to eradicate this vice.
And this thing started during that time when the COVID came. We are appealing to the Ministry of Works as the major regulator to help the bus industry to avoid these ones.
These fraudsters also use counterfeit fake receipt books to deceive people bearing names of bus companies that do not actually exist. Andrew Sebira compiled the story.
And in more UBC News tonight, Uganda is strengthening efforts to connect education with employment through structured workplace learning. New sector apprenticeship committees have taken oath to guide apprenticeship programs across key sectors. The key focus is to close skill gaps, promoting inclusion and preparing young people for decent jobs.
As youth unemployment persists, government is strengthening pathways from classrooms to workplaces. The newly inaugurated sector apprenticeship committees will oversee quality workplace training. Their orientation focuses on apprenticeship standards, industry participation, and labor market needs.
We are looking at targeting young, fresh graduates, people that have just finished school. For the graduate volunteers, we are looking at people that are between 18 and 35 years and also have finished school in the last 5 years. We believe these are still very, very, very productive.
Government says applications are processed through a digital apprenticeship platform. The system links young people directly to available opportunities across sectors.
What are we trying to fight? That many employers ask these young people, you must come with experience, but let us be honest with one another. Young people are just out of school. The experience they have is the few internship opportunities and industrial placements they have acquired. Now this program comes to bridge that gap, to create practical training at the place of work.
Inclusion also emerged as a key priority during the orientation. The program seeks greater participation of persons with disabilities alongside gender balance.
Usually the vulnerable groups, people living with disabilities, are left out. So what we do is to have a deliberate focus through the partners that we're engaging with to ensure that the people that are being selected as beneficiaries for the program, we have at least a certain percentage that should be people living with disabilities.
Committee members also highlighted the need for stronger industry engagement. They say industries understand their skills demands better and must actively shape training.
Of course, there is the issue of the mindset, but for me, I take it as reconditioning at this level. So we need to recondition our people, the industrial players, then the training institutions, but also our learners or the young people that we are looking at going to take on these apprenticeship programs. So we need to mobilize, to sensitize, and we work together.
Mobilization, funding and coordination remain critical to the program's success. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Sexual harassment against girls and women remains a major challenge in institutions of higher learning across Uganda, negatively affecting the education and well-being of many victims. According to the Equal Opportunities Commission, many reported cases originate from universities, particularly in Kampala, prompting calls for collective action by government and other stakeholders to raise awareness and combat the vice. This was the focus of dialogue held at Makerere University Business School, aimed at deepening the understanding of sexual harassment and gender-based violence while generating practical solutions to eliminate the problem.
According to the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development Baseline Report of 2024, 44% of staff and students acknowledged the existence of sexual harassment in institutions of learning, while 25% reported having personally experienced it. At Chambogo University, a baseline estimate highlighted that out of its roughly 39,452 students, approximately 8,679 students had experienced or were actively experiencing sexual harassment, highlighting the magnitude of the problem. Angiyango Rosemary, a student minister of gender at Gulu University, shared her personal experience of sexual harassment by a lecturer.
I once was a victim, and a victim of verbal harassment. I entered the class and a presentation was to take place, and he comes with this comment that your lips are so hot and look sweet, I feel like kissing it. Right before the class, the students were there, and I didn't feel so good.
Such testimonies, together with numerous reported cases, prompted the Equal Opportunities Commission, in partnership with the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, to organize the dialogue. The engagement brought together students from various universities to discuss strategies for addressing sexual harassment and gender-based violence.
We had been having some cases emanating from some public universities where some female employees, especially the academic staff, had been accusing their bosses of sexual harassment.
Delivering her keynote address, Dr. Anna Nisima, a lecturer at Makerere University, identified limited awareness, power imbalances, and institutional failures as some of the key drivers of sexual harassment.
They forget that sexual harassment goes beyond the physical act. It is about the verbal, it is about the non-verbal, it is about the gaze, it is about the touch, it is about continued harassment of somebody even when they have shown that they are not interested in something.
Dr. Nisima noted that despite the high number of incidents, many cases go unreported due to stigma, fear of retaliation, and lack of confidence in reporting mechanisms.
It has great consequences that some students end up giving up on the courses they are doing. Some students end up missing classes and therefore getting retakes. So we need to deal with the deep-rooted patriarchal norms, which breeds toxic masculinities and meek femininities, where a woman or a feminine creature just believes that sexual harassment is normal.
The UNFPA country representative, Christine Blockers, emphasized that sexual harassment is not only a women's issue, but a societal challenge that requires collective responsibility.
The transformation that we're looking for isn't going to come about simply by protecting women and girls. It comes also because we empower men and boys to become champions of equality, of dignity, and of nonviolence.
Other participants at the dialogue also shared their views and recommendations on tackling sexual harassment and gender-based violence in universities.
It is necessary that we focus a lot on how the attitudes and the value systems within societies can be influenced by our programming to bring out these aspects that require self-nurturing within an individual, but also that require support system across society that would address any abuses and harm if they ever happen.
Rebecca Natongo, Susan Nabgude for UBC News.
Those in the field of humanities have urged academia to incorporate technology and relevant innovations to align humanities subjects with contemporary education demands. During the inauguration of the Humanities Open Day at Chambogo University, experts underscored the importance of soft skills in transforming societies.
The Chambogo University Humanities Open Day focused on discussions aimed at promoting the contribution of art subjects to educational leadership, cultural preservation, communication, and sustainable development.
So this is one of the reasons why we felt that we needed to go back, because it is within our mandate to do community outreach, speak to the community. These are the biggest clients that we expect to be coming here. So as we go back, those who are still in senior 5, you still have an opportunity. Those in senior 6, it is already done. You are doing your combinations, but you can start seeing how they can help.
Researchers challenged the practice of comparing humanities subjects with sciences, noting that such comparisons inadvertently create academic disparities within the education sector.
Just like you all would want lucrative career paths in STEM, but not everybody can get to STEM. And so we are constantly under attack. There are even threats of, the arts and humanities being closed or being banned from the curriculum. And these conversations, I think, have gone further down to secondary school as well.
Academia has been tasked with leveraging emerging technologies and innovations to demonstrate how humanities and soft skills can provide solutions to societal challenges.
So today we are living in an era which is characterized by unprecedented technological advancement, artificial intelligence, globalization, climate change, social transformation, and rapidly evolving labor markets.
Professor Katunguka further urged parents and guardians to provide appropriate guidance to learners when selecting academic combinations.
The Dean Arts and Humanities talked about career guidance, that many of our students in schools don't have correct information about where they want to go and what courses they need to study to lead them to their destination. I think that is a gap, maybe in our education system, or maybe in our universities, so we need to see how we can fill it.
Meanwhile, Chambogo University has launched a risk management framework policy aimed at minimizing uncertainties within the institution.
So this policy is going to help us list all the risks that we may have in our operations, in our policies, and then also come up with mechanisms how to mitigate against these risks.
It's being carried out. The university engaged experts in that area, and they are training deans, heads of departments, examination coordinators, and all the teaching academic staff that is involved in developing of academic programs, so that they are aligned to the new current demands.
The risk management framework policy is expected to create avenues for dispute resolution within the university and address students' concerns before they escalate into violence. Abdul Nasiri Lubwama and Regana Humza for UBC.
And with that, let's take a short commercial break. When we return, we'll be back with more UBC News Tonight. Please don't move an inch.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
In a fast-moving world, why are we still stuck with paperwork? Signing here, stamping there, moving from office to office. It's exhausting. Now, there's a better way. With UG Pass, you can securely prove your identity, sign documents, and access government services anytime, anywhere. No delays, no stress. Everything is instant, safe, secure, and government-backed. UG Pass, your identity secured. Available in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. UG Pass is a product of Nita Uganda.
Step into elegance, step into confidence, step into La Vie Boutique. Located at Grand Imperial Hotel, Shop 6 and 8, right behind Bank of Uganda. La Vie Boutique brings you high-class corporate and casual wear for men. From sharp designer suits and crisp shirts to stylish casual t-shirts, tracksuits, shoes and accessories, we've got everything to make you stand out. Call us on 0772 419 181 or 0705 555 558. La Vie Boutique, where class meets style.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight. And in more news, adoption of renewable energy solutions in schools has remained limited due to the high upfront costs, lack of information on credible renewable suppliers, and limited awareness of viable financing models. The Senior Energy Officer, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, Engineer Musime Emma Rava, cites how government is now working on increasing electricity access in schools, developing projects to advance biogas installation for schools to transition to clean energy. This was during the closing of the 2-day of the Stanbic Business Forum in Kampala.
Stakeholders from the sectors of education, energy and finance have engaged at the Stanbic Business Forum to explore practical solutions for the adoption of clean energy in education institutions. It was discovered that at least 90% of the education institutions have not adopted to clean energy.
And then we need to also match them. Like this is, to some extent, a matching platform where you're bringing the suppliers of these solutions, the financiers, the potential clients in one place. And this helps them to identify credible suppliers of these products.
A few institutions that have managed to transition to clean technologies have continued to face challenges ranging from electricity costs, power interruptions, among others.
Government to first of all increase access to electricity, because I think we still have like 40% of the schools not having access to electricity. So as we're trying to push out these technologies, we also have to be cognizant that we still have to electrify most of these schools.
Stakeholders cite how sustainable energy financing drives growth in the education sector.
Sustainable is very key for us, and that's key because in today's world, we all know that energy prices are going up and we have no control over that. But we can find ways around ensuring that it is sustainable and affordable and efficient. Because once they, if we look at, be it power, which affects the lighting in the school and also is used for feeding our students, I mean the cooking as well. If it is not efficient, if it's not affordable, if it's not reliable, then it affects or disrupts administrative activities.
The private sector has positioned initiatives to bridge the gap by offering tailored renewable energy financing solutions and advisory support for institutions to transition.
We have financing facilities in place that are affordable, for which one is able to access financing for as low as 15% per annum for switching to renewable energy. We work with different partners who are able to provide these solutions, so we can help you measure how much do you use today, what does it mean when you switch, and if you have a lack of, how do you also switch to affordable energy solutions and are able to then run your school efficiently.
The forum was marked under the theme, Building the Future of Education Through Sustainable Energy Financing Solutions. Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
As Uganda prepares to join the rest of the world to mark World Sickle Cell Day on 19th June this year, renewed attention is being drawn to the growing burden of sickle cell disease and its impact on individuals, families, and on the health system. The condition remains one of the country's most prevalent inherited blood disorders, underscoring the need for sustained awareness, early diagnosis, and improved access to care. Health experts are now calling for greater community involvement in prevention efforts, particularly through screening and informed decision-making among young people.
Uganda is transitioning newborn sickle cell screening from targeted sites to a nationwide mandatory program. That's what we are transitioning. And all of you are aware that we now have the other details for sickle cell screening produced locally within the country. So we need to take this advantage.
We need to advocate for sickle cell patients. We need to stand in for them. Because sickle cell patients, they die very early. Before 5 years, 90% have died. The few that progress to teenage years, again, a big bunch die at the age of 20. So there are very few adults or advocates who can then speak for sickle cell. So we, here together with the media, need to stand up for sickle cell patients and advocate for them and ensure that these patients are getting care.
Community should know what sickle cell is, not to just hear about it as a myth, as probably witchcraft. We should be able to know what it means to be a trait. A carrier should be able to know how to do a test. Just like as we capture children for zero-dose vaccination before they leave the facilities, we should also capture children to be able to know their status by the time they leave our facilities.
If every person knew their status, okay, if every person, especially before they decide to get married or to have children, then this will reduce the number of babies born with sickle cell disease.
With the launch of the locally manufactured testing kits, we have gone a long way in ensuring that capacity is built around the country, and thanks to the leadership at Ministry of Health, because all district lab focal persons have been trained on how to use the locally manufactured testing kits to diagnose the newborns.
We need to reach national, we need to impact the generations, but we need to be able to have the knowledge. So we really would want that we get this knowledge. We need to get what are the tools which work, and we need to be able to ensure that no child in Uganda suffers or dies from a disease, from this disease unnecessarily. Thank you for listening.
Leaders and residents in Karamoja are worried of the dry spell which has dried crops due to erratic rains, and people have started charcoal burning and others are migrating to areas outside Karamoja for survival. UBC visited gardens in Napark and Moroto districts.
Karamoja sub-region normally receives rain between March and early April, and it goes up to September. This year the region has got lesser rain, and according to weather forecast, Karamoja will receive below normal rainfall.
We expect our seasons, rains to begin falling in the month of March towards the end, or early April. That is when rains normally begin falling in the Karamoja. But this year the rain came a bit early, around February, and yet February is supposed to be a very dry month here in Karamoja. So it took people by surprise.
Most gardens of maize, beans, sorghum have dried up. Napak district has green belts like Edidi, Lorengichora, Apeitolim, but all crops have dried.
I cultivated 4 acres of maize and 4 acres of sunflower and 3 acres of sorghum. But because of the sunshine has
41,000 households. At least 38,000 households have been affected by drought. The acreage affected is about 35,000.
In the wet belt of Lorengechora sub-county, farmers have lost hope.
It is one of the sub-counties that has famously been known for being a food basket for the people of Napak in the dry belt and also other neighboring districts within Napak district. This sub-county has not been spared with this prolonged dry spell.
Members of the community have lost their finances, especially in farming. Because at the time when we received the tractors, most of our farmers went to the groups, the DSLA groups, getting loans.
Lucy Lorot planted close green sorghum on 4 acres, but all have dried.
I planted beans and maize, but it's failed, it germinated, but the sun eat.
Amoge planted 6 acres in Matani sub-county, but all have dried. Leaders and residents say some people have started migrating to mining areas and others resorting to charcoal burning. Prices of food have increased.
Nowadays, people have gone to destroy the environment. People have gone to cut and burn some trees for charcoal. Others are collecting firewood in the wilderness in very far areas.
Now turning into mining sites in big numbers, including even young children who are supposed to be in schools.
Leaders are worried that insecurity may resurface due to drought. They call upon government and well-wishers to consider Karamoja for food relief and short maturing and drought resistance.
To intervene in terms of distribution of quick and drought-tolerant crop technologies.
They must begin budgeting. OPM should come out. Ministry of Rehabilitation should be able to come out now and see where there is food anywhere in Uganda. They should begin purchasing and sending this food to the people of Karam.
Most affected areas are Moroto, some parts of Kotidong, Amdat, Napak and Kebong districts.
Local leaders in Dokolo district have called for improved coordination with government ministries, citing inadequate orientation, poor communication and interference by contractors as major obstacles to effective service delivery. The concerns emerged during a 2-day civic education engagement organized by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. Our reporter has more.
Our community asked us, what does this mean? What does this mean? And yet we are left out.
Local leaders in Doholo district have expressed frustration over what they describe as limited engagement by government ministries and poor coordination in the implementation of public programs.
And today, when I come to all the ministries from Kampala, you are the ones killing Uganda, not us.
The concerns were raised during a 2-day civic education and leadership engagement convened by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, bringing together elected and appointed leaders from the district. Leaders noted that inadequate sensitization on government programs and the tendency of some contractors to bypass local authorities often undermine service delivery and accountability at the grassroots.
First of all, they are leaders. They lead people. They live with these people. They know their problems. So if we reawaken their thought systems and energize them, they will be able to cascade that energy and that knowledge and be able to tap into all the available resources, both human and material, and put them to use for the good of the popular masses.
Today we have realized
that issues that do with the security of our citizens, of our people, we take it up as the councillors.
John Oyambi from the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance observed that frequent disagreements between elected leaders and technical officers continue to hamper progress in many local governments, emphasizing the need for unity and a shared vision.
If we have different political players, sometimes others don't look at others as the right people. And yet we want people to work with the cohesion. We are telling them you should know your role and responsibility. But the challenge we have in the district is that everybody wants to be the boss of the other. And we cannot implement a government program like that. We can only work together as a team.
Simple economics. Why don't you technical people go and explain and teach the simple economics at the village committee meetings?
Doholo District Resident Commissioner Barbara K challenged leaders to become more proactive in executing their responsibilities, noting that effective leadership is key to ensuring government services reach the people.
The President has said it. This term is not for sleeping. The district we want, the sub-county you want, the village you want, is why we are here.
The two-day engagement focuses on civic education, strengthening understanding of government operations, promoting social cohesion, and improving service delivery across the district. Edi Ulwa, UBC News.
Wow. The Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation cited Bukedi sub-region as a predominantly young population, with youth forming a significant proportion of the region's 2.36 million people in poverty. According to the 2024 census, the sub-region has over 508,000 youth aged 15 to 24 and more than 522,000 aged 18 to 30. In communities such as Bugwere, many youth pursue education as they hustle with the socio-economic challenges and limited employment opportunities.
Dr. Joshua Isiko, Team Leader, Productivity Acceleration, Science, Technology and Innovation Office of the President, said that they came up with a pilot study to empower the students in the region to use the surrounding environment to make money. The tools are a workbook of opportunities which facilitate thinking to turn challenges into economic opportunities.
The Students Association of Bukedi as a sub-region, which I told you that after Karamoja down, the next one is Bukedi, is the one to test, can this happen in what is called the poor? Because it is the poor with all those educated people. You know very well. But the question is, why are they poor yet very educated?
Isiko noted that they have begun with Bukedi sub-region, then after 1 year they would roll out to all areas of the country.
This platform is going to be what we call a web page. The way you go to Chrome and maybe go to a certain website, that's how it's going to be. So you will be able to go create an account. So in terms of which we call ICT, it's called an application. It's a software. So we are going to turn all these works into a software where people go and do what they want to do on that platform.
The President, Bagwere National Students Association, Mugalia Humphrey of Chambogo University, noted that the knowledge given to them shall assist them to generate wealth from their surrounding.
We are standing on the topic of knowledge economy. So as the students who have been entailed into this is a very great opportunity for us, given the fact that we are getting knowledge, understanding, skills, values and attitudes as students, such that
Kanyago Aldrin, Secretary General Bugwere National Students Association, and Kantono Sandra, student of Library and Information Science, appreciated the keen interest from government to empower the youth from Bukedi with knowledge economy acceleration skills which would transform their lives.
So I really believe in the art of creative, like being innovative, coming up with very new things that are not into existence, and using the few resources that you have around you so that you can come up with something that can earn you a living. Yeah? In regards to the topic, I think it is a general issue that even by the morning or by the end of the day you've gotten an opportunity and a skill to pick on get something to do with it.
Never.
Let's now take a short commercial break, and when we return, we'll be back with business.
MTN voice bundle. Load. Hey. Hello, Mama. Hey, it is me, your son, Opio. Hey, now, Mama, listen to me. MTN has the offer. Yes, it has the offer. You load from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Now, they have free MTN to MTN minutes. And those minutes are there all day. So you load, you'll thank me later. Hey, Mama.
Load an MTN voice bundle between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. and get 3 free MTN to MTN minutes valid all day. Dial *100 *21# and get your free minutes bully daily. Free your fire with free minutes from MTN. Together, our connection is unstoppable. MTN.
They share an office. Some work in the day, some at night. What they have in common: focus, dedication. That's what makes them champions. They also share something else: the reward of being one. The official beer of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Not for persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
Join Uganda's leading policymakers, economists, private sector players and development partners for the Post-Budget Dialogue 2026, broadcast live on UBC TV this Friday, 19th June 2026 at Hotel Africana. Be part of the conversation as experts unpack the national budget and its implications for Uganda's future. Don't miss it. Friday, 19th June 2026, live on UBC TV.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. And now in the world of business, after steering Centenary Bank for 16 transformative years, outgoing Managing Director Fabian Kasi is set to hand over the reins on June 30th, 2026, bringing to a close a remarkable chapter in Uganda's banking sector. At an event held at Serena Hotel to celebrate his banking journey, Kasi reflected on the values that shaped his leadership and challenged the current generation of professionals to look beyond monthly paychecks and instead focus on the value that they create within their organizations.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a small bio of Dr. Fabian, and it could be longer.
According to Fabian Kasi, individuals who consistently create value in the workplace naturally attract opportunities, stand out, and become strong candidates for greater responsibility and leadership roles. He encourages young professionals to ask not only what they stand to earn when joining an institution, but what contribution they can make to its growth, success, and overall value creation.
So the advice to the young people is, first of all, look beyond the salary that your employer is giving you. I always challenge people. You know, you come in a meeting, you leave without saying a thing, nobody has even acknowledged you attended, then how will people know that you can do something? If everybody stands up, stand out, so that, you know, you are able to be recognized as somebody who can do something, and eventually be outstanding. And once you are outstanding, then people will recognize you and be able to give you those roles that will make you a better person and a more responsible person.
Kasi leaves behind an enviable legacy. When he assumed office, Centenary Bank's total balance sheet stood at slightly above shillings 1 trillion. Today it has grown to nearly shillings 9 trillion.
When I joined, I think the total balance sheet of the bank, total balance strength was slightly over 1 trillion. As we speak now, it is 9 trillion worth of Uganda shillings, that is and still growing. So talking about the bigger ecosystem that has been built We have the technology company, we have a foundation that will be doing even much bigger things than what the bank has been doing, that we've been doing in the cancer initiatives. We have an asset management company. We have other subsidiaries outside the country. There will be an insurance company that will be coming on board.
He also takes pride in strengthening customer confidence, noting that trust remains a key pillar of customer retention.
For them having entrusted us with their resources by way of deposits being put in our bank, doing their business with us and so on. So we want to thank them, and we want to assure them that they've been part of a very rich journey.
Under his stewardship, Centenary Bank grew its customer base from about 850,000 to approximately 3 million clients, while expanding a strong agents banking network of nearly 9,000 agents across the country. As he exits office on June 30th, Cassie leaves behind a stronger institution and a message anchored on purpose, impact, and continuous growth. Crispus Arinitwe, Rita Nwerimpa, reporting for UBC.
Government, in partnership with the Innovation Village and various development partners, has announced the Uganda Catalyst Summit, scheduled for June 25th to 26th, 2026, at Motive Bugolobi. During a press engagement at the Media Center, officials emphasized that the summit will be a cornerstone for realizing the country's tenfold growth strategy, which seeks to expand the economy to $500 billion by 2040.
Dr. Asumani Guloba from National Planning Authority explained that after evaluating the progress of previous development plans, the government realized the need to move faster. The strategy aims to multiply the current economy 10 times over the next 15 years, a feat that Dr. Guloba likened to making the Ugandan economy look like the Dubai today.
The game changer we are thinking is that the private sector, in whatever we are going to do, is going to be the driver. Because the private sector is the one that contributes 80% of GDP. The MSMEs, basically the micro, small and medium enterprises, are the drivers of the economy. Majority of you are part of that economy, where the small people employing 1 to 10 people, they are the drivers of this economy.
The summit coincides with the celebration of the National MSME Day 2026. Patrick Mugisha, a commissioner at the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, noted that small and medium enterprises constitute over 90% of the private sector and are the primary vehicles for innovation and job creation.
Every MSME today requires BDS as a critical enabler to drive them to the next level. Whether you're starting, you're growing, or you want to scale. So these opportunities are going to be prevailed. We are now finalizing the development of the policy. We also want to finalize the revision of the MSME policy of 2015 and the National Standards and Quality Policy of 2012.
A key highlight of the engagement will be the Fresh Value Innovation Challenge, which will identify top 10 innovators in the fruit and vegetable value chains to receive catalytic seed funding and mentorship.
And the theme that we're looking at really is how do we begin to harness the energy, the potential of the sector, because private sector is buzzing, it is moving, it is ready for the support that is required for the industries that will be birthed.
Officials also noted that government is finalizing a national business development services framework to provide enterprises with patient capital to enhance export competitiveness in regional and global markets. Stakeholders are encouraged to attend the summit to formalize, to rise, and unlock their economic potential. Wadulo Arnold for UBC.
And in the world of sports, MTN Uganda, in partnership with the Federation of Uganda Football Associations, FUFA, has launched a nationwide campaign inviting Ugandans to design the next Uganda Cranes jersey. More details in this report.
Dubbed Free Your Fire Tulage Waka, the initiative seeks to give fans
creatives, students and professional designers an opportunity to contribute to one of the country's most cherished symbols of national pride. Speaking at the launch in Kampala, MTN Uganda's manager for sponsorships and events, John Paul Okwi, said the campaign aligns with MTN's commitment to empowering Ugandans to showcase their talents and creativity.
We have come up with an online portal which will be open from the 22nd of June up to the 9th of July. And you know, in MTN we believe that we are digitally unstoppable. So we are trying to ensure that this digital platform gives us proper accountability. We will have logs of who submitted, when did they submit, what did they submit, and we are able to track in real time what we have received and have proper accountability for every submission that comes through.
Federation of Uganda Football Association's first Vice President, Justus Mugisha, welcomed the initiative, saying it will strengthen the connection between the national team and its supporters by allowing fans to directly shape the identity of the Uganda Cranes.
We sought together with MTN, our sponsors, that the best way of involving the fans is for them to participate in designing the jersey. Because much as this jersey will be donned by the Uganda Cranes, we expect also that all the fans of Uganda will also don that jersey, especially when we go support the team, and also on the days when we pray.
Submissions will open on June 22nd and close on July 9th through the MTN More platform. The top 7 finalists will advance to a 3-day mentorship bootcamp before the winning design is selected. The successful jersey will become the next official Uganda Cranes kit, with over 50 million Uganda shillings in prize money up for grabs. The Uganda Cranes' next competitive engagement will be a journey in the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers later this year.
A 2-day swimming pool attendance course held at Akamwesi Swimming Pool in Kanyanya, Kampala district has officially concluded, with participants equipped with skills aimed at improving pool safety and management. More details in this report.
The training brought together swimming pool attendants and focused on enhancing their capacity to properly maintain swimming pools and ensure the safety of users.
We wanted to achieve awareness and skill imparting into the supervisors and technicians that manage the facilities in terms of treatment, safety, operation maintenance, and also forecasting and working with the local authorities in terms of compliance.
Participants were taken through key operational standards, risk prevention measures, and emergency response procedures. The instructor, George William Mukasa from Life Saving Association Uganda, emphasized that every swimming pool must meet specific requirements before it can be licensed to operate. He noted that adherence to safety and maintenance standards is essential in minimizing accidents and ensuring a safe environment for swimmers.
It must also have strict measures of how people should enter and get out. That will include also the emergency exits. It should also have members that are qualified and trained, such as teachers, coaches, and then caretakers. They must be briefed about. It must have good access control.
Participants described the training as eye-opening, saying they have gained new knowledge and corrected misconceptions about pool management.
The main focus was on the water chemistry, which I believe that I've acquired more knowledge, which I'm willing to apply at the pool, mainly focused to ensure that the pools are clean, crystal clear.
They pledged the skills required in their respective workplaces to improve safety and professionalism in the sector.
Especially in the chemistry, because we've been in the chemistry, in the chemicals, so I've acquired a lot of knowledge when it comes to swimming pool treatments, the pump house, and how to manage each and every situation.
The course attracted participants from aquatic centers like Latitude O Hotel, Lori Fun Park Swimming Pool, Akamwesi Mall, Mashon Hotel, Hoima Stadium Swimming Pool, and Shalom International School. What follows is an online training for swimming pool attendants from the Northeast and Western regions on the 18th of June 2026.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product.
Join Uganda's leading policymakers, economists, private sector players and development partners for the Post-Budget Dialogue 2026 broadcast live on UBC TV this Friday, 19th June 2026 at Hotel Africana. Be part of the conversation as experts unpack the national budget and its implications for Uganda's future. Don't miss it.